it's Christy with Flourish Yoga, and we are here doing one of my favorite morning practices today. And this is going to be all about the tension that we carry in our neck. So this is one that I do once or twice a week. This is part of my morning routine, one of my favorites. So I can't wait to share this with you. We are going to add a couple of essential oils into this if you have them. If you don't have them, don't worry, it's still going to feel amazing. If you do have them, this just helps to make it feel even better. So you're using the deep blue, you can use it in the rub format or your oil, whatever you have. Because we're all about the neck today, we're taking our deep blue and placing it and just kind of rubbing it in to our shoulders and our neck area. So I am one of those people that carries the tension, carries the weight of the world on my shoulders. And this is the practice that helps me let go of that. Deep blue, options for deep blue actually is anything that has wintergreen in it. Wintergreen is the oil of surrender, so if you don't have deep blue, you could use past tense or plain wintergreen. What we want to do is put that oil of surrender right there on our neck and our shoulders, because we want to practice or want to enhance that feeling of letting go and surrendering that anxiety and worry that we carry. Okay, let's get started. So what we'll need today for our practice is simply a block or something with some height. And I'll put these back here so they're not going to block us. We are going to start off in a pose lying down that will just be working on stretching out the infraspinatus or the infraspinatus, pardon me if I can speak today, so some of the muscles in our neck and our shoulder girdle. Okay, so lying on your side, you want to have something. When I do this upstairs in my bedroom type thing, I might just use a big fluffy pillow or a couple of pillows there. You want to have something underneath your head so that it's roughly the same height as your spine. You can take one hand, your shoulder is coming, your elbow's coming straight out, fingertips come up. We're just going to gently take those fingertips, so not pushing really, but just gently guiding that down. My legs are out at an angle. If you want to feel really supported, it's just like 90 degrees down, 90 degrees out. Okay, take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just drawing those fingertips down towards the ground. You'll start to feel a little bit of a stretch right in here through your neck. Good, and then breathing in, lifting up, breathing out, releasing down. Some of you may be getting your fingertips down to the ground. Kudos to you. Some of you may be just getting it over to here. Doesn't matter where that is. Just over time, so this for me right now is a tight spot. Usually I'm down a little bit lower, but as you can see, I need to work this one today. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Deep breath in and breathing out. So just doing about 5 on this side, and then we'll switch over to do the other side. So you can just turn yourself around. I'm going to flip to the other end of the mat so you can still see me and not looking out my back. Again, elbow comes straight out at 90 and comes up, just resting your head comfortably on the block, and then breathing in and then breathing out as you release down. Good. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. So there's our 3. And a 4. It's just a real gentle movement, and you shouldn't feel this a lot. It's very, very subtle. But over time, you will notice a difference in where you can start to bring your fingertips down towards the ground. Good. Do one more there to even us out. Excellent. Okay, set your block off the side for now, or your pillow, blanket, whatever that is. If you have a block or something with a hard edge, that's what we're going to be using at the end of the class. But for now, just setting it off to the side, we're going to come into melting heart pose next. So melting heart is a yin pose. I like to do this at the beginning here because we're not warmed up yet. And we want to just stretch the fascia and the ligamenture around that area. So there's no muscle engagement in this. Arms go out. Forehead can come to the ground. If your forehead doesn't quite reach the ground, that's when you can place your block in underneath that as well. Okay, and so all we're doing is hanging out in this pose. You're going to come into the pose, And then just hang out there. I'm just turning my head to the side. You're going to keep it going straight down, but just so I can talk. So you're just going to hang out there. Allow the spine to be relaxed and settle down in there. We're going to hold it for a few breaths. Good, and coming back up. So that's one that you can hang out in if that felt good. And the longer the better in that pose. We're just doing a quick sequence here today, so we're just going to get that feeling of it. But if you're following along with this afterwards with the cheat sheet, you can, or the tip sheet, you can hang out in that a little bit longer. We're going to get some reliefs to that area now. We can do some cat-cow, but a little bit differently. So with our cat-cow, I want you just to sink your shoulder blades down. So feel your spine just descending down between your shoulder blades. And then I want you to round up. So just pushing up, almost like you're trying to dome up through the back of your spine. And then releasing it down and doming it up. Release it down and dome it up. And then here's 4 and 5. Good. Just taking your weight back towards your heels, having your hands forward, just giving that a stretch in forward hero, downward dog. And we'll come right up into downward dog. So with your toes tucked under, just release back. And it's mainly our focus today is on our shoulders and our neck. We want to add a little bit of tips in here for our legs and our hips. So just cycle through, walking your dog a little bit, stretching out through the backs of the legs, through the calves, through the hamstrings. And then bend both knees. Take your belly as close as you can to your thighs, straightening that out. Just coming into that nice best version of that stretch. From your hands to your hips, and your hips to your heels. And then walking your feet forwards, planting your feet down. Keep a slight bend in your knees. Just hang down here loose for a moment. So hanging loose in ragdoll, we want to get that feeling of just letting go with the shoulders. And then come up a little bit so you can just rest one arm on your leg. We're going to let go a little bit deeper by just taking a couple circles. Just allowing that tension to drain out of the shoulder area. Do a circle one way and then go the other way. Good. Hand on your, just switch your hands, a hand on the thigh, on the knee, and then allow, just let it be dead weight, just let it dangle down. You're just circling just slowly in one direction, and then back the other direction. Good. Then releasing both arms down, straightening through the backs of the legs as much as you can, what feels comfortable. Just get that stretch along through the hamstrings, but focus on relaxing and releasing through the arms. Good. And then anchor your feet. So spread your toes wide, press down strongly through your feet as you breathe in, lifting your arms up towards the ceiling, and then back towards your heart. Good. We're going to do a little thing here just to activate these rhomboid muscles, or the muscles between our shoulder blades. So I want you to breathe in, lifting up, and breathing out. Draw your elbows back behind you, almost like you're like on the lat pull bar at the gym or something like that. Not that I've been in a gym for a while, but deep breath in, lifting up, and deep breath out, releasing down. As you're doing this, your feet are nice and strong. Anchor down through your feet so your legs are strong. Breathing in, lifting up. Breathing out, you're drawing your elbows back and just waking up those muscles in between your shoulder blades. Good. One more deep breath in and deep breath out. Excellent. So this is the area that we're working on. We're going to run through a couple of sun salutations here, and we're going to pause. We're going to do it nice and slow, nice and gentle. We're going to pause and just work through this area in a couple more ways. I'm just going to turn this guy so I don't get poked in the head. Not sure why he's so close today. Okay, deep breath in as you lift up. Good. Deep breath out, releasing down towards the ground. Let your arms dangle. Get that feeling of releasing through the shoulders, surrendering, letting go. Bend your knees, plant your hands, step your feet back. So coming up into plank pose. And then plank pose, you're going to slowly lower yourself down, keeping your elbows pinned nice and close, engaging those muscles, and then releasing all the way down. Keep your hands planted underneath your shoulders. You're going to breathe in a little baby cobra. So you're just drawing your shoulders back and forward, and I want you to be squeezing your shoulder blades together and feeling that activation where we were when we were doing that little lat pull kind of exercise. So drawing your shoulder blades together, tuck your chin in. So don't be looking forwards, tuck it in and just gently looking straight ahead. So almost like your chin is going straight back a little bit. Just going to hold that for a couple of breaths. Good. Hands are planted down nice and firm. And then just release back in this little kind of mini melting heart. And then coming up into your downward dog. Couple of breaths. And then stepping forwards to the front of your mat. Reach down to your toes. Reaching up for the sun. And back to your heart. Good. Again, deep breath in. And deep breath out as you fold forward. Let your arms dangle. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Stepping back to plank, super strong through your body, so you're pressing the floor away from you with your arms and leading with the heart, so your collarbones are coming forwards. And then slowly lowering down. Inhale. This time as you swoop up, take your fingertips wide to the edges of your mat. You're going to breathe in, lifting up. Same almost baby cobra, but a little bit deeper. Again, squeezing the muscles between your shoulder blades. You're just going to hold that like a squeeze and soak. So as you activate them, when we release, they'll relax a bit deeper. Just activating them in there, taking your chin, tucking it in slightly. Good. Lowering yourself down, plant your hands, releasing back. That little little stretch through here, and then coming back into downward dog. And then from here, taking one foot in the center of your mat, taking your other foot forward right into the middle. We're going to come on up. We're going to do a variation of Warrior One. You're going to find your balance there. So you're pressing into both big toes. I'm going to come a little bit forward here. Take your hands on your hips for a moment. It's mainly about the shoulders and the neck, but let's add in a little bit of legs here on this one because this is such a good stretch. You're going to bend the back knee slightly, tilting your pelvis up a little bit to the front so that your core is engaged and you're nice and strong. And then slowly straighten that back leg out as you can. And when you do that, you'll start to feel a stretch right in through here for the top of the quads and up into the hip flexor. So this gets short when we sit, when we run, when we bike, when we walk, all of those things that we love to do. So just giving this a nice stretch out whenever you're in this pose feels really good. Okay, so that's our legs, back to our arms. Take your arms up for Warrior One and then just relax them. So just gently allowing your elbows to relax. Draw your elbows forward. And again, we're making this little dome shape in our back like we were in our cat-cow. And then you're drawing your shoulder blades together or pulling your shoulder sockets or your shoulder bone into the socket. Good. Release it forward like a dome and then drawing it in, engaging these muscles in between. One more, draw it forward and then engage. Good. Drop your arms like you're holding a great big beach ball and round it forward. And then stretching back. Good, round it forwards and stretching back. Round it forwards and stretching back. Arms come down. A little visitor there where we didn't step into the camera zone. So arms down beside you. Just tilt your body forwards a little bit now. And just draw it forwards and back. Rounding forwards and back. Forwards and back. Good. Taking your foot across your mat, we're going to stop into Warrior Two here. Arms extend out. So nice deep bend in the front leg. Do a little bit of awareness on our legs. So your knee is rotating out. You're trying to stretch from this knee joint back to this back hip joint. So you get that opening through there. Arms come from the heart and out to the sides. Good. You can look over those fingertips first for a breath here in Warrior Two, then we're going to add some stuff onto this. So from here, take your palms forwards and then take your fingertips back. So we're just stretching now through the front of our forearms to release that stress in through there, which often if you're writing a lot or keyboarding a lot, that gets really tight. Good. Back facing down. This one's going to turn up now. Inhale, lift it up. Bend your elbow back behind your head. This arm's going to lift up. You're just going to draw the skin of your forearm just forward. So you're drawing this hand down your back. Again, you're still in your warrior two legs. Nice strong legs. Feel that stretch from your hip bone to the knee. You're just drawing this elbow, this hand back down along your spine. So you get this nice stretch through the front of your arms. Good, for a couple of breaths. And then releasing it out wide. And we'll do the other side. So this foot is going to turn straight across. This foot turns out. Deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, just bending the knee, coming into that nice strong warrior two. And just take a breath there in that pose. Feeling that strength and that power. And feeling that stretch radiating from your heart right out through to your fingertips. Going to turn to look over those front fingertips for a moment. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Can you sink a little bit deeper? And then hands face forwards. Take your fingertips back behind you. We'll do this one in reverse. So you're stretching through the front of your hands there. And then we're lifting your arm up. You take it back behind. This other hand, you lift up the skin and just drawing it back. So this is like a little variation of cow face pose, or the arms for cow face pose. Just getting that stretch and opening underneath through the arms and through here. Good. Remember your legs. So keep them nice and strong. Your knee is directed outwards. You're stretching from that hip joint out to that knee. Nice, super strong legs. Good. Opening out your arms. We're going to come back into the warrior two. So hands come on your hips. Switching your back foot around so you're facing straight ahead. You're going to slightly bend the back knee. Tilt up with your pelvis. And then straighten out the back leg. Okay. From here, arms go up. And then slightly bend your elbows. And then draw your shoulders forwards. And then squeeze them back behind you. And drawing it forwards. And squeeze it back. We're doing 3 in each position. So 3 there. And then dropping your arms out to the sides. Squeezing back together. And then rounding your back. And then squeezing it together. Rounding your back. Squeeze it together. Round through the back, dropping your arms, tilt yourself forward, and then draw your shoulders forward, and then release them back. Drawing it forwards, release it back. And forwards, and back. Good, and then you can just turn your legs together, and then we'll just walk our feet right together. Good, so just roll out through the shoulders, do a couple of big shoulder rolls there. Just releasing and letting it go. We're going to add in, so hopefully this will help feel a little bit more relaxed as we go through. We're going to do a couple more release poses here before we move on, before we end our practice. But we also want to add in a little bit of core for you today. We want to have a nice balanced practice. So we'll work on opening the shoulders while we do our core. I'm going to set this guy over to the side. Take your arms out to the sides. This one's got a wall here. So straight up to the side, and then just start to move your hand up. And so you only want to move it up where your hand can stay flat. So if you come up to here, and then you got your wrist pointed straight towards the ceiling, you want to come back a little bit until you find that spot where your arms can be flat. Okay? So with your arms, wherever that position is. So now we're just going to let gravity do its thing here on our shoulders. We could do a little bit. You could just kind of roll your shoulders under, tucking it in. We're just encouraging this opening to happen through there. And also what we're doing is we're training our body that we're not hunching our shoulders when we engage our core. We want this nice and relaxed and open, so we don't have that kind of that bodybuilder hunch going on. We want this nice and open while we work our core. Okay, so for this, deep breath in, let your belly expand. Deep breath out. Just take your belly button and kiss it down towards the floor. Breathe in, let it expand up. Deep breath out, kiss it down towards the floor. And we'll go deeper into this on the core. We do our daily workout for the core. but this just gives us a little bit of a touch in here. Breathing in, lifting up, breathing out, going down, and then lifting up. And we're going to do this about 5 times. So there's 4, and then there's 5. So our arms are relaxed. Now I want you to keep the belly button kissed down towards the floor. So keeping that nice flat back. And while we do the rest, so even while you breathe in and breathe out, this is going to be staying engaged. Okay, so now we're going to make it harder. Lift your feet up. And so the key to this is closer is easier, further away is harder. So start with 90 while we're doing this, and then you can decide and adjust as you go along. So our belly button is engaged, our core is engaged. You can feel the muscles kind of pulling together from the top of your pelvis to the bottom of your ribs. So deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, you're just going to gently touch one toe down towards the ground, and then breathe in, lift it up. Breathe out, touch your toe to the ground. Breathe in, lift it up. So just toe touching from one side to the other, all the while you're keeping this core engaged and your belly button down towards the ground. Your shoulders are relaxed. They're just hanging out, releasing, while we're working other areas of our body. Try not to let the tension come into your neck. Can you relax the neck and just make this about the core? Just going from one side to the other. We'll just do a few of these here, just to make sure it's engaged, make sure we're strengthening it every day. Good. Whenever you need to, you can hug your knees in. We'll do a couple more on each side. Good. Okay. Relax your feet down, relax your belly. Take your arms straight out to the side. You probably can't see this on my video screen, but take it straight out. Deep breath in. And then you're going to take your knees over to one side. If you don't feel a stretch there, if it's not very big, that's okay. Bring it back up. Cross your leg over and then take it over to the side. Now this fingertips can come onto your leg to encourage it to go down a little bit deeper. Now traditionally when we do this pose, we look opposite our knees. But while we're working our head and our neck, you may find it more beneficial to look in the same direction of the knees, and then you might feel a little bit of a stretch through your neck. So play with it. Where do you feel the most release? Is it through the neck area? Is it looking away to the other side, or is it looking to the same side? So just find that spot for you where you get a little bit of a stretch through the neck. Just going to hold this for a few breaths. Good. Lifting back up, unwind your legs, and we'll do the other side. So deep breath in, breathing out, legs go over to one side. I've got to switch over to the side of my mat. Arm is going to extend out straight. And then you can take those fingertips down onto the knee to encourage it to come straight. And then play with your neck. Does it feel better looking away? Or do you get a deeper stretch by anchoring this opposite shoulder down and feeling the stretch through the side of the neck? Hold that for a couple breaths. And then lifting back up, planting your feet down, at least putting yourself back into position. One more before you get to relax here. So if you take this block or whatever it is that you have that has a fairly distinct edge on it, so it could be a couple of big textbooks or something like that, you're going to place it here underneath your neck. And I want to have this ridge, just finding that spot along the base of the neck here. So the ridge is just going to come right kind of where the skull meets the neck, okay? And this is where we tend to hold a lot of tension in through these neck muscles. So finding that spot on there. We're going to turn your head, and it might take a little bit of adjustment here just to find the right sweet spot. Find that spot. Turn your head all the way over to the side. Arms can be down the side. And then just gently turn your head just partway back. And you might notice that you start to tweak into an area. You just start to feel it's like a little pressure point. And the way it releases is just to hold it there, let your head be heavy and release down. So you're going to release through that tension. I'm going to dust this a little bit further underneath the neck. There we go. And so all the way over to the side and then just drawing back. Just like a quarter of the way back. And you can play with your arms and just notice if you feel any difference. I find it's optimal with my arms down here today. And then move it like so you're halfway back. Just let it hang there. Then another quarter of the way back, let it hang. And then all the way. So then go to the other side. So just turning your neck all the way over to the side. Come back a quarter. Just take a few breaths there. Let your head be heavy. Come back to half. Come back another quarter. And then back to center. So that's one that you may want to incorporate before you do Savasana if you carry tension through here, and you can absolutely hold it that longer into that area as well. We're just doing a quick little morning practice to get us moving here, to get release on the tension. So coming into Savasana. So for your Savasana, focus on rolling under through the shoulders. Focus on lengthening out through the arms. We want this area here to have lots of space. Again, you can lengthen out through the legs as well. Oh, before we do this, pardon me, we're going to put on our other oil here. So this is our balance oil, just to help to set you up. Now, whether you're doing this in the morning, as a morning practice or an evening practice, balance is a great oil to use. You're just going to rub it into the bottoms of your feet now, before we relax. So quick little up and back. Make sure we don't forget that. Again, so as you're laying down, rolling your shoulders under, extending your arms out long, reaching through the heels, and then let your feet relax out to the side, let your arms release. And just begin to let go, just to surrender. Deep breath in, breathe out, let go. Breathing in, and breathing out. And now I'm going to sit up to direct you in this, but I want you to stay lying for just another few moments or longer if you have that ability today. You're just allowing your body to lay flat, closing your eyes. And just begin to relax the feet where you rubbed that oil on the bottom if you had it, or you maybe even give yourself a little foot rub in there. Just relax your feet. Feel where your heels touch the ground. Let them relax. Relax the bottoms of your feet, the tops of your feet. Relax through your calves and your thighs and your hips. Let your lower body be relaxed. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, relaxing through your belly. Instead of engaging through the core, this time as you release and relax, just let everything soften. As you breathe in, just let your belly expand, no holding it in. And then breathe out, let it release back towards the floor. Breathe in and breathe out. And now relaxing through the back, so just let your spine release onto the floor. Let the rib cage release down into the floor. And let your shoulders be heavy and weighted down to the floor. Feel their weight extend all the way down your arms, to your wrists, to your palms. Relax the backs of your hands. Relax each finger from your thumb in towards your pinky. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Just release and let go. We carry this tension in through our shoulders, through our neck, and all the way down through our arms. Just allow them to be weighted and relaxed. Just letting go. Relax your throat and your jaw. Relax your cheeks. Relax your eyes and your forehead. Just as you're relaxing, just breathe in Breathe out, say to yourself, letting go. Breathe in and letting go. Just gift yourself a few deep breaths here. If you have the ability to stay longer in this pose, feel free to hang out here. Otherwise, you can carefully roll over onto your side and bring yourself back up to sitting. Do a couple of shoulder rolls when you get up there, just to feel that sensation of that release, that heaviness, that relaxation through your shoulders. Take your hands to your heart, just honoring all that you have to give, but knowing that it's okay to let go and just surrender. To just look after yourself for a change. So deep breath in and namaste. So thank you for joining me in this daily practice, and I look forward to continuing this with you too in more ways. Deep breath in, breathing out. Namaste.